Hold on, Boomer, only one more screw left. There you go. What do you say?
Beautiful.
You happy now?
Yes.
So why don't you tell the kangaroos at home what game we are reviewing today?
Darksiders.
Yeah, and?
It's the game.
Great job. Thank you very much. The end of the world. It's a topic as old as humanity itself. What else is as old as that? The eternal struggle between heaven and hell. We have seen it countless times in the media and video games. And back in 2010, Vigil Games and THQ decided to jump on the bandwagon heading for damnation and brought us Darksiders. Oh THQ, I still miss you. Darksiders is a 3D weapon-based beat-em up. Or how a layman would say, a hack and slay. We know the concept from Devil May Cry or God of War. But instead of having you fight for heaven or hell, Darksiders lets you take over the role of War, one of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. A neutral force of power with the duty to bring justice to both sides. The game was released for the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360 and later the PC. THQ sold over 1 million copies worldwide and received positive reviews for it. They went on to release a sequel and a book based off the games. But critics can be wrong, right? Why don't we take a look for ourselves? The game opens with Mr. Narrator here telling us about the eternal conflict between heaven and hell.
Since the dawn of time, the armies of heaven and hell have waged an endless war.
After millennia of war and destruction, the Chart Council steps in and says, "Y'all gotta chill or we'll release the Four Horsemen on you." A truce was forged, and it should hold until the 7 sacred seals are broken, bringing the end of days. And amongst this conflict, mankind arose. Yay! Hooray for mankind! Everything seemed lovely, until the story of Darksiders kicks in. Meteor showers all over the world cause panic and destruction. Only that there aren't meteors, but angels and demons duking it out. The final battle between heaven and hell commences, and now we are introduced to the game's main character, War. He's here to kick demonic and heavenly butt alike. Run, little human, they're coming for you! Oh, I killed him. Oopsies. War heeds the call of the apocalypse and fights his way through hordes of demons and angels. This is our opportunity to get used to the combat and controls in Darksiders. Quite a nice idea for a tutorial. Oh, look at that transformation! War smash! But something's wrong with the horseman. A mysterious tomb gradually drains his power.
What is happening?
Remember back when Castlevania Symphony of the Night did the same thing? It's a great way to show the player what the main character will be capable of, if you progress further through the game. It also adds mystery and motivation to find out what actually is going on. War goes on to fight his way through the chaos and faces this guy, Strager, just after angelic Nick Fury over here gets down like a bitch. Just 10 minutes in and we already get to fight our first boss? That's how you do it! So let's kick this guy's ass on... Oh. Good night, War. Of course War isn't bad. That would be a really short game. Confronted by the Chart Council, War has to stand trial for his interference.
No call was given, yet the destroyer marched, and there you were found.
Wow, I wonder how many cigarettes you have to smoke to get a voice like that. Apparently, War has done goofed really bad since all 7 seals are still intact. He's accused of starting the apocalypse too early and breaking the law of balance.
You forget your post, horseman. You forget the law.
To prove his innocence, War is sent back to Earth to find the ones that framed him. Some time has passed since his first battle, or how the game likes to put it,
How long was I gone?
In Earth years, about a century, long enough for the last of the mouth breathers to die off.
I like that guy.
So this guy, Vulgrim, tells us that the leader of Hell, the Destroyer, is responsible for the early end of days, and that he is hiding out in his dark tower. I guess the Destroyer is supposed to be the devil or Satan? I don't know why they just not call him like that. Never mind. To find a way into the spire, War has to free the demon Samuel. Oh, just look at this scene. War is such a badass. But even Samael isn't powerful enough to penetrate the tower's magic.
Penetrate.
The only way for War to reach the destroyer is to kill his 5 lieutenants, starting with the Bat Queen Tiamat. To be at least a little bit of help, Samael grants War his first new ability, the Shadow Flight. Look at me, I can fly! So War sets out to fight his way through the post-apocalyptic landscape and finally reaches the Twilight Cathedral, Tiamat's home turf. This is the first dungeon in this game. It gives you a good impression of what you have to expect from the rest of them. You will encounter heated battles, puzzles, and new items on your way through the Chosen One's layers. Each dungeon has an epic and atmospheric feel to it, thanks to the thought and detail put into it. I mean, there are statues with tits in this one. It doesn't get more detailed than that. Speaking of new items, in the Twilight Cathedral, War will find the crossblade, a big-ass bladed boomerang. Wait, just hang on a second. I have to fight and puzzle my way through a dungeon? There are keys hidden in treasure chests? And even mini-bosses? Why does that sound so familiar? Oh, right. One could say that Darksiders is just another Zelda clone. But I have to disagree with that. Darksiders picks a lot of mechanics and themes coined by the Legend of Zelda series, but alters and changes them enough to not come off as a cheap copy. I would say it's an homage to one of the most important adventure game series out there. But it would be kinda funny if War would sound like this. Anyways, War confronts Tiamat and... Are those Bat-Tits? I've officially seen everything now. Now some of you may think, this is the first boss battle, how hard can it be? You have no idea. Tiamat is a beast. Not only does she have 2 different phases, but also deals some ridiculously high damage. Even figuring out how to hurt it in the first place turns out to be a puzzle itself. My first time around playing this game, it took me 4 hours to beat her. This time around it just took me 2 tries. I'm awesome, I know. And now you know why you shouldn't mess with War. Dude's gonna rip your heart out. And with the first of the destroyer's chosen ones dead, the Horsemen of War sets out to take care of the remaining 4, one heart at a time. Now I'm going to talk about the end part of the game and the ending itself, so if you want to remain spoiler free, fast forward to this time code or simply punch Boomer in the face.
Why me again?
Shut up, I gave you a new buddy. After disposing of the destroyer's chosen ones and finally taking revenge on Straga, War is taken to the Tree of Knowledge, where he learns who's really responsible for the apocalypse. Abaddon broke 6 of the 7 seals to lure the chosen ones out of hiding to destroy them. And guess what? He's not really dead. He turned into the destroyer himself. Yeah, makes sense, I guess. War also has a vision of his own death. Awkward. So now we have to reforge the Armageddon blade, since it's the only blade that can kill the destroyer. And finally, let's move on to the last battle. Deathwing, is that you? The final boss is actually kinda easy, but I got the abyssal armor, so maybe that's why. Oh, just look how awesome War looks. Take that, Fallout 4, War does change. So War massacres Abaddon and gets killed by this angel chick. But do not start to cry yet. The final seal gets broken and War's full power returns, making him even more badass.
Forget who holds the leash.
I haven't forgotten.
I would like to say that they then lived happily ever after, but the game leaves us with a cliffhanger. Guess we have to play Darksiders 2 to find out what happens next. But the story isn't everything to a game, is it? How a game feels, how it presents itself, and what challenges it presents is equally important. For today's standards, Darksiders looks a little bit outdated. But what game from 2010 doesn't? Look at Mass Effect 2, or for example, Red Dead Redemption. By any means, I don't say any of those games look bad, but some games age better than others, and Darksiders is one of the good ones. The world of Darksiders is beautifully crafted and has a lot of details put into it. 100 years after Armageddon, nature is right in the middle of taking back the Earth. You see bushes growing out of asphalt and fungal growth that covers the ruins of the lost kingdom of mankind. The world itself isn't that big, but not small either. It's a healthy in-between. You will find yourself traveling through 7 different regions, all of them with a specific look and feel to it. Just look at the Ashlands. That place is made of the ash of the deceased. Yummy. Of course you'll need a specific item first before venturing into a new area. To Vigil Games' credit though, they managed to add some variety to these go from A to B sections. Maybe you have to ride a griff to reach the next region. I got a laser gun! Pew pew pew! Or you have to win an angel killing contest against a giant. A lot of different things are hidden throughout the land. Sellable collectibles, weapon upgrades, even health upgrades. You have to collect 4 of them though to get another health container. The Legend of Zelda is strong in this one. There's also an extra armor hidden throughout the world. You could look for it on foot, or use the fast travel system, or even use your awesome flaming steed. Combat in Darksiders is best described as a 3D weapon-based beat-em-up. War has an arsenal of several weapons to dispose of his enemies. His trusty sword, Chaos Eater. Reaper, a magical scythe. The Power Gauntlet, the Tremor Gauntlet. And a gun. Each of them can not only be leveled up by using them in battle, you can also buy upgrades, new combo attacks, or enhancements. I personally ended up mostly upgrading and using the Chaos Eater because, let's be honest, it looks pretty awesome. And I have to kiss Vigil Games' ass again. The way War executes his attacks combined with the vibration of the controller really makes you feel the weight of Chaos Eater. Speaking of combat, don't forget War's Chaos Form. About halfway through the game, War will regain his ability to temporarily activate his Chaos Form, providing him with more armor and attack power.
Like a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, Boomer, exactly.
I was just saying.
Weapons aside, the items you'll collect in the different dungeons are a nice homage to the earlier action adventures. A hookshot, the power to manipulate time, and a portal gun? Hey Boomer, could you say cake and grief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test?
Cake and grief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test.
Sounded bad in the script. Sorry. Let's not forget the enemies. During the game you will encounter dozens of different enemy types. All of them require their own strategy to beat and become stronger as the game progresses. War even has a unique way of disposing them. That's a lot of blood. Darksiders loves its blood. Even something mundane as opening a locked door is a gory bloodfest. And don't forget the bosses or chosen ones. We already talked about Bat-Tits over here. But what about this giant worm? Or Bizarro Charlotte over here? Congratulations if you got that reference. And the chosen ones don't just quietly sit in a room waiting for War to show up. You often see them creeping through the dungeon or busting through a wall trying to stop you. It really makes you feel like you're invading the territory coming to hunt them down. But for me, the most important part of Darksiders is its main character, War. I love this guy right from the start. War certainly isn't a hero, or a villain. He does what has to be done, bringing justice. It doesn't matter if you're on the good or the bad side. If you're on his list, you're fucked. And he's such a badass. Just look how he deals with the Griever. Choo-choo, motherfucker. There isn't much of a backstory to him, but you don't need one. He's the freaking Horseman of War looking for the asshole that framed him. Not much more information needed. You're not going to meet many more characters. Well, humanity is that, makes sense in a way. But for the few you meet, you wished for a little bit more depth to the characters. Samuel is evil, got it. Volkim the Soul Merchant only likes money, got it. Uriel the Champion of Angels is a fanatic asshole, got it. You think that was too vague? Well, the game itself doesn't really give them more character. What's that? Me complaining about a game? Yes, that can happen, and here's another one. Darksiders' soundtrack sounds kind of bland. You got your typical high fantasy orchestral pieces, but nothing really outstanding. There are 2 good ones, War's theme and The Flight Over Eden. And here's a little tip, if you don't want to spoil yourself, don't take a look at the tracklist before playing the game. But the voice acting makes up for it big time. Darksiders features some of the most talented voice actors you can find. Liam O'Brien did an outstanding job voicing War.
Run. I won't fight you.
You may recognize him from his role as Gaara in Naruto, Gollum in Shadow of Mordor, Burning Crusade's Illidan Stormrage, or Geek and Sundry's Critical Role. Just a side note, if you are into Dungeons and Dragons, you will love the last one. Check it out, it will change your life. But wait, there's more! Last of Us Joel Troy Baker lends his talent to the game. There's Futurama's Phil Lamar and Mark Hamill as the Watcher.
Are you not entertained?
Yes, you heard right. Luke freaking Skywalker is in this game. Goddamn youngsters. The Joker. They portray the respective characters well without coming off too cliché.
Samuel, tell you how he came to bear his tainted blood.
Remember that, or I will really get under your skin.
All these components come together in a solid, entertaining action adventure. The take on the eternal fight of good and evil may sound cliché and was done 1,000 times before, but the Charred Council's role as the keepers of balance and War's adventure as the neutral part in the struggle gives it an interesting and refreshing turn. The look of the game holds up and manages to convince with a love to detail. The monster-filled, ruined world hits the post-apocalyptic feel just right, and the star cast of voice actors breathe life into their characters. The 20 hours of average playtime are just right, but feel a little bit outstretched, especially near the end of the game. The puzzles and boss fights are creative and take you out of what you're used to from other games. Unless you're playing on the easy difficulty, Darksiders is by no means an easy game. The game knows how to kick your ass and is ready to do so. It's not Dark Souls difficult, but will have you scream out in anger. But that's a good thing for some gamers. If you played Devil May Cry and The Legend of Zelda and always wanted to know what the baby of both franchises would look like, here's your answer. Darksiders will take you on a tour through a gory, beautifully crafted apocalypse, topped with references and homages. 3D beat-em-up newcomers and people without a love for unforgiving games should rather stay away, or check out the sequel. I give Darksiders 8 out of 10 bat titties.